Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on Small Doses, Amanda Seales gets into the side effects of living alone. On The Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone are talking bicycles and fashion, politics and lost legends, and they've even got a few spooky tales. On The Koi Pond, Joe, Dre, and Brian are joined by Fahim Anwar. On Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal podcast, Gilbert and Frank Santapadre are joined by actress Carol Kane. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for a full list of our shows, featuring hosts like Jessica Chobot, Bob the Drag Queen, and Monet Exchange. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio, and enjoy the show. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
Starburns Audio.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-hosts Arm and Dan. Benders, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey Townies, welcome to a Friday episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population Rich.
Katie Rich. Yay.
Oh, the best intro of all time.
Dude, we had
you're
to
part of
fire
the
it up.
intro.
You are part of the intro. I'm so happy we saw you on this hilarious Zoom that we did for the Big Ten Network.
But first met you in Chicago.
I'm just saying recently, and it was like, oh my God.
Recently,
We have to
yeah.
have you come do our podcast because we love you
Yeah.
and we just think you're
Katie, we have
so
known
funny.
each other for 10 years.
I think
Dan.
longer.
No, that's when I started
Really?
night staff at Second City was like late winter 2010.
Yeah. So now
Oh, so I was still in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were there. What, like
13, 14.
13, 14, somewhere in there where we came and did stand up and then we came down and did monologues and improvising on
You
at
did the
Second
set.
City.
Yeah.
And we did the set.
We did the set at Second City, and it was just such a blast.
And I remember you guys were so gracious because you showed up and it was towards the tail end of the show, but you sat and you watched it and you genuinely watched it.
Yeah,
you,
oh my God. We loved
you
it.
referenced it. I mean, it meant a lot. It was very cool.
We thought it was like very cool to just get that invitation to come downstairs. We were like, not everybody gets this invitation to come down. I know, but like it meant a lot to us. And we had
because we were like,
Wow.
we're never going to host Saturday Night Live. We're just never going to host Saturday. But this is as close as we're going to get to stand on the
I'm
stage.
not ready to give that dream up yet.
They don't have a the for two people.
That's right.
They did the
Well,
Olsen twins once, and boy, did they
Well, one
suck.
of you would have to be the musical guest.
That's fine.
What would happen if, like, what I do is if we were, this is what I would do if we got a chance to host Saturday Night Live. I would be hosting it, and in the middle of a sketch, have somebody come on, like from that say that we had to get replaced by another set of twins because we worked long enough. We'd been working for too long, and then bring the Olsen twins to finish the sketch.
You should pitch it.
I mean, that's genuinely very funny.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So we believe that the world's getting dumber, and I don't know if you're kind of subscribing, if you subscribe to that, or do you think that it's just dumber's getting louder and we are hearing it more, and it's always been this dumb? What do you think?
I think more people have a voice.
Yeah, the opportunity to showcase how dumb they are.
And it's not necessarily the right people.
Yeah. Yes.
I would agree.
Too many people have that voice.
Yes. That's why, like, there's
access.
one person at a comedy club who has a microphone, and that's the comedian. Well, now
Yeah.
with social media, we're at every table, there's a microphone.
And
Yeah.
some people that's
Yeah.
good, but I would say
Yeah.
40% of it is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then another 50% is unlistenable.
Well, it gives equal weight to everything in a way, right?
Right.
Yes.
That doesn't
It's a
necessarily
great
deserve
point.
it.
It's a great
So-
point. Well,
We have a banger of a person
we
today.
try to understand dumb behavior on this podcast. We get great stories sent to us from our
do.
fans. and we're so happy you're here to just.
We've never heard it. Katie's never heard it. Dan has
It's
barely been
heard
through
it.
it.
Let's
So-
jump into our awesome story for today.
This was sent in by Linda Hartman.
Linda Hartman.
I know, I love her.
I love Linda.
If you're a Linda right now, are you just breathing a big sigh of relief because it was either you, Karen, or Donna that were going to get picked as the name of like all these Karens?
Yeah.
Like it was, or maybe a Deb.
Or you could get a Carol in there.
Yeah,
Carol.
Did you say Carol?
Carol.
But Carol Baskin kind of took Carol over. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Deb,
yeah.
Donna, Linda,
Jennifer.
yeah, Karen. Yeah.
There is a Jennifer now.
There is.
There is a
Yeah.
Jennifer.
So this was sent in by Linda Hartman at LKHTMN. She's been around since the jump.
She's
and I
awesome.
appreciate her. Here's the first line from the article. Listen, we'd all like to return to some semblance of normal. This is like, I always say,
who
this
the
is
fuck is writing this?
This is like when a menu talks to you. Oh, you're going to love these chicken fingers. Just
Is this now when you say article, are you using that very generously?
It might be a loose.
yeah, this comes out of Florida, one of the
Okay.
Fox affiliates.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's a Fox affiliate. This is not like a blog, like
Listen.
a crime blog. But listen. Let's like when the menu Dan says like, you're going to want to pinch yourself, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first we took biscuits. I don't care.
Don't tell us your
Just say what it is and how much it's going to set me back.
Bring me the
Thank
finished
you.
product.
Right.
right.
And you can only
Yeah.
use the word smothered twice on your
right.
menu.
I know.
That's it.
You can use smothered and you can use slathered, but not for the same item.
No, not
No,
at
because
all.
then it borderlines on like serial killer manifesto.
If you're smothering and slathering, then it's just paper towel napkins.
That's right.
Not great.
No.
It's going to be a mess. You're going to need a shower after these biscuits.
Yeah, that's going to be nasty.
Yeah. Listen, that's also somebody writing this who's in Florida who's probably like, if I have to write one more article to these people.
Listen.
They probably were just like talking and their phone picked it up. And they're just, like bitching about something.
They don't type their article, they talk their article.
No.
It's writing by
Yeah.
speak and spell.
It's
Yeah.
like our mom with every text.
Love Annette. I know, Mom.
Yeah.
We know it came from.
Thanks, Annette.
We saw it.
That's also a voicemail situation too.
It's-
My dad's always like, "Hi, Katie, it's your dad."
It's your
I
day.
know. I know.
We saw it.
Listen, we'd all like to return to some semblance of normal when it comes to socializing at our local bars, but baby steps, please! Exclamation point. This is somebody down in Florida who's like,
Pleading.
people.
By the way,
People.
I love
So
this-
far, I agree with this.
Oh,
story.
100%.
Except that, like, we'd all love to get to some sense of normal when it comes to socializing at your local bar. Like, that's the first thing on everyone's priority. How about, like, let's get stores open then?
Let's get sports back, and then
Yeah.
we can worry about
Right.
your
The
dumb
bar.
bar scene.
Yeah,
I haven't felt like persecuted as far as my ability to drink.
no,
since
not
this
at all.
happened.
Although
so.
I have wondered, like, how many of like pro in Chicago, like, because the summer and socializing, like, what's happening to the Chicago Social Sports Club? Like,
Yeah.
Chicago Social, like, built a whole, like, are there people who are like, we got to get these volleyball nets back up? And they're
Yeah.
like, no, that's down the line.
They're playing like Zoom volleyball.
Right.
Listen,
Have you
I'll
been-
hit my
hey,
shot.
Have you been to a Chicago 16-inch Zoom meeting?
Everybody's
Basically, it's the
That's
same.
a very different meeting.
Yeah,
that's
that's
not.
true.
That's
No,
the
that's-
only time everybody's wearing gloves.
Right. It's actually the same as it was every summer. No game. You still bring your own cooler. We just drink.
Yeah. So pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that a Zoom 16-inch softball game is probably more athletic than
Then the actual.
Than an
just-
actual
The actual
16
game.
is
Yeah,
That's the
for
first
sure.
time I
Chicago.
broke a sweat in the past 19 years doing this game.
Just a whole bunch of guys who live, like, just moved in from Berwyn wearing Ron John Surf Shop t-shirts.
Yeah.
They're so excited to be
I
playing
got my
16-inch
Mr.
softball.
Zog sex wax shirt on.
like keeping the Zubaz industry
Oh,
up and
100%.
running.
You know.
Look, I like when my pants get really tight at the bottom.
And they give me room in the thigh in case I gotta, stretch out.
Grip
Stretch
my
out.
ankle.
Okay, listen, we'd all like to get back to normal. But baby steps, please. A woman in Florida was arrested earlier this week after allegedly trying to kiss the patrons of the Brevard County Bar. So the county has its own. Oh no, I thought it said of a Brevard County Bar bar, then repeatedly calling 911 after trying to kiss people to report that the very same bar was ignoring social distancing guidelines.
So this woman is all over the map.
So she's trying to kiss people in the bar, and then
Well, they're clearly saying no, and
Right.
she's hurt by that, and
So
so,
she calls
now she's
911.
like, "Well, I'll show you." Right?
You
or am I
guys-
wrong?
Yes.
I mean, I think if a guy did it, he could probably run for president, but maybe.
I just love that she's like, I'm
Yeah.
going to be the problem and the solution. I'm
That's
going to
right.
try
Yeah.
and kiss people, and then I'm going to call the cops on all of you for letting me get too close.
Well, do you remember? Go ahead.
It sounds to me like she was that level of drunk. I was talking to my husband the other day, and I was saying how it should be illegal to serve someone more than 6 beers, but it should also be illegal to serve someone less than 2.
There's a range.
Right.
Because I feel like if you've just had 2 beers, you'll be like, "Oh, I can drive."
Right.
But then there's like that window where you're like, "No, I'm drunk." And then there's that other window where you're like, "Let's kiss everybody."
That's
you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
And
That's
it
it.
sounds like she cycled through that. So
She was above the 6th
she was
level.
above, and then she kind of started to sober up and was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
I got it.
I gotta start calling
cops."
I gotta blow the whistle on
I
this
feel
whole
like
thing.
she was
Yeah.
so drunk, she was at that level where she tried to kiss somebody, and then when they said no, she was like, I didn't do it. Like,
She strikes me as someone who's like, she tried to blow everybody, and then when she couldn't, she had to blow the whistle.
yes.
She's like, I'm blowing something tonight. All right. But the idea of it's making me think of Morgana, the kissing bandit. Remember her? That
Yes,
woman
I
with
do.
the gigantic
Katie, you
breast
have to remember, she was
Blonde
a
hair.
blonde hair woman with large breasts.
who would run out onto professional.
I mean, I'm listening.
who would run out onto
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
professional
I know who you're
baseball
talking
fields,
about.
stop
Yes.
games,
Right. Kiss
Yes.
Mark Grace full on the mouth.
Just like
Yes.
big old
Which
kiss.
he was fine
Forward.
with.
He
Yeah.
probably saw her the night before on Rush Street.
By the way,
Absolutely.
nobody stopped her. Security didn't tackle her.
Right.
No.
She just went
'Cause-
out and did her thing, and then people cheered, and then they kind of escorted her out. Like she was like, I did it.
Right.
Something tells me this woman didn't have the charm, so to speak, of Morgana.
Yeah. There's a charm to Morgana in that she was given like a team issued and sanctioned jersey to wear.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I mean?
that.
Yeah.
Like everyone was in on it. They're like, we're
But
gonna.
then she had sort of a follow up, because remember the Brewers girl?
Yeah.
There was that Brewers girl who always sat in front.
Oh, yes.
And she would do what? And she would flash or no?
She would just she just had a low cut shirt on.
Right.
Yeah.
And she would just be distracting.
She was
Yeah.
just, let's put her over
Right.
there.
Which, if you're a Cubs fan, like, they always seem to find, like, Harry and Steve were like, beautiful day at the park.
Hi.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, it was the best. And he didn't, it's not like he was like Bob Uecker. He didn't have that cough button where he
No.
could, like where he would push it. Harry
Right.
Carey was just like, I'll
There's
just
no
say
button.
it.
Right. Yeah.
just
Look at her, Steve.
I'm a Jew.
Police in Melbourne, Florida, which isn't that like a hat on a hat?
Melbourne,
That's a hat
Florida.
on a hat.
Yeah.
Yes, that is like
It's like
even,
Mexico, Missouri.
Even
You know
for
what I mean?
Florida, though, you're like, you want to bring Australia into this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Police in Melbourne, Florida, arrested Audra Adams on charges of
Double A. Double A.
I know. On Amy's younger sister, on charges of trespassing and disorderly conduct, among other charges, after responding to the Monkey Bar and Grill on the night of May 12th, where they found Adams in the parking lot refusing to leave. That's also one of my favorite levels of drunk. Like, you guys go. They're like, no,
The
you
bar can't go
you
anywhere.
go.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to. Well, also, like, if you have to be acting like an asshole to get a trespassing at an open bar.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get that.
That was
charge.
the part that jumped out to me. How was she trespassing? She was a patron,
Like,
right?
bar's
open.
The bar
The
was
parking
open.
lot.
Until they tell you to leave. Dan,
Although-
you've worked at bars before.
I kicked people out of Second City. I remember one night I had to tell somebody, like, you got to go. And they're like, what did I do? And I just said to the guy, do you understand the volume you just used?
What did I do?
I could now be asking you to leave based on how
that.
loud you said, what did I do?
You just broke 3 more rules right there.
You just got your
The
photo
worst
on
in
the
Second City, and I'm sure you get this too, was when you're doing stand up, was when someone was clearly having fun. Like it was like they were watching
I'm
TV.
helping. Yeah.
And they would be like, I get that. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, fuck. Like, they are enjoying themselves.
Right, but they're a problem. And because they don't
Yeah.
understand. I also like, I don't know, Second City had this thing where like, every couple of months, you'd have people fooling around during the show.
Oh, yeah.
One
Always
time
to
we
the right.
put the
What is that?
it was that little
tea?
corner, and
Yeah.
one time we put the spotlight on this guy who's just fingering his date.
No,
Oh
that happened a lot. One time we had we had a guy and girl, and he was fingering the girl.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot of fingering.
it really is. It really is. And I
From
walked
adults, like these aren't
full
like
on adults.
This isn't like a
Yeah.
And I walked
This-
up, and
no.
they both looked at me. His hand still between her legs. I go, guys.
You gotta stop.
And they both just go, sorry.
Give me
one
a
of the
location.
house managers there,
give me
Heather
a-
Winna,
Heather
a
Winna,
dear
yes.
friend, a dear friend of mine. Her theory was always that they were having affairs,
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
and this
that
is
was-
where we go.
Yeah.
and so they would go somewhere dark.
She loved catching people too. Heather
Loved it.
She would gather the entire staff before we kicked them out. Like she would somehow let everyone
We got
backstage
one.
know
We got
Yeah.
one.
so that all of you guys knew what was happening out there.
Yep.
Oh,
But like, I don't know. God bless for like
I know
doing
one
a little
time.
finger bang.
I think I've told it here. One time, you know, because we'd always get like bachelor and bachelorette parties at Second City.
Mm-hmm.
So one time these guys roll in, having the night of their life. It's like
Yeah.
Friday or Saturday night. They're coming to the second show.
You can smell the Lipitor.
I know. And I go, guys, are you sure you want to come in?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? I'm like, we have will call. There's plenty of people waiting. We can get you your money back. Why? We don't want this show. I go, I'm just asking you this. You've been having a great night.
Yeah.
Do you want to come in here
And have to be
and
quiet.
sit down for
Right.
an hour and a half?
And have to be
Right.
quiet and have
'Cause
to
I'm gonna tell
respect
you-
other people.
I'll tell you right now.
Right.
A couple of you are going to love it. The rest of you are going to fall asleep at best.
Yeah.
So I'm
At
just,
best.
do you want to put the brakes on this whole night? And they looked at me and they were like, we can get our money back. And I go, I
Yeah.
understand
Yes.
why you came here, but I'm telling you, it just isn't going to work the way
It's
you
a great
think.
idea on paper, bad idea.
They
Dude,
They
I
get
wish
their
you were
money
at
back.
every club. I wish you were
I
at
agree.
every
That's
club
so
we're at.
smart.
And I was like, it wasn't, they were like, thought I was doing him a solid. The guy turns to leave. One of the guys, he walks out and he just, I'll never forget it the rest of my
Throws
life.
up.
He just yells, it's poon hunting season. And then walks out.
And you were like,
And I was like,
And you are like, I'm following them.
yeah. Sure, take me to your leader.
oh.
You're like, I didn't know it was March 9th already.
I'm like, what are you even talking about? Also, do you imagine that was their thanks so much
Yeah.
like verbiage.
That
Like,
was Dan. That was them
imagine-
going like, we're out. We're out.
Imagine if I had to kick them
Do
out.
you know you sound like a predator?
Right.
A
Yeah.
hunter.
I know.
They all made some girl very lucky that night.
Yes.
For sure.
Well, no, it's like, I need a location. Her vagina. No,
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 no, no.
no.
You
No,
guys
we're
not
not.
taking any more locations from the upper right part of this
You
audience.
tell me where the Admiral's at. Okay. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the rest of this story, find out what's going on with Katie Rich, and I will talk to her about dancing with Dave Ross. All right, we'll be back.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more to People Town.
Guys, want to talk to you about something that's super important, your mental health. We know that right now everyone has a general level of anxiety in their world, and now added on top of that is the world anxiety, the world of anxiety that has been placed on all of our shoulders because of this pandemic, whether it be economic issues, whether it be social issues, whether it be general anxiety stuff that we all feel. We're building. All you have to do is scroll through your phone and you can start to feel that anxiety. And whether you're in a house that is making you more anxious or you're quarantining alone and that loneliness is very difficult, we want to make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. And that's why I love that we have this sponsor, Talkspace. They're amazing. They're an online therapy and they are more committed than ever to expanding access for anyone who is struggling right now. With Talkspace, you get the support of a licensed therapist from the safety of your own home and can reach out from your device whenever something is on your mind. You can send a therapist text, audio, picture, or video messages from your phone or computer 24/7 as thousands of licensed therapists are there to help you out. They'll match you with one that can. And look, I know my wife's practice has grown in the time of this pandemic, mainly because people are needing that connection and needing that outlet and needing that resource. I love Talkspace because they have thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties, including the ones that are the most important right now: anxiety, depression, relationship issues, the things that keep you up at night. They're going to help you out. Once you're matched, you can begin your therapy the exact same day. This is really good. So in honor of Mental Health Month, Talkspace's online therapy committed to fostering a global community.
They get it.
Here's the bottom line. You deserve support. You deserve not to have to struggle anymore on your own. Your Talkspace therapist can be your dedicated support system, there to make you feel healthier.
That's right.
And more empowered even in these uncertain times. As a listener of our podcast, you get $100 off your first month of Talkspace. To match with your perfect therapist, go to Talkspace.com or download the app. Make sure you use the code SCLAR. It gets you $100 off and lets them know that we sent you there. That's SCLAR at Talkspace.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. We want to remind people about a few important things. Number one, Dan has a nightly show called The Good Night Show. Yep. It is fantastic. It is a wonderful podcast that I choose to listen to in the morning because that is how I don't wake up and freak out that the world is ending.
It eases you into your day, and it's just such a sweet and wonderful. And Katie, you should do that. I'm gonna make this connection right now. You should do Dan's show.
It's really sweet.
Hell
and awesome.
Yeah, we have guests twice a month, so I'll hit you up.
And we do a daily podcast called Scarborough Country, the Virus Edition, a.k.a. the Panty Pods, a.k.a.
One egg, four legs.
I like that one.
Okay.
It's a good one.
I like that.
So we break down just, stories related to COVID-19 that are absurd and ridiculous, and hopefully we make you laugh for 20, 25 minutes a day.
But this episode is going to drop tomorrow,
okay,
of this show. So Friday the 29th is when this drops. And Jason and I and Dan, we are doing a stand-up show. We have not done this yet. We've done it once, but we haven't done a full hour-long set on this show. It's called the Nowhere Comedy Club. Our buddy Ben Glebe has set this thing up. It's fantastic.
I know Ben.
You know Ben. So you get to do stand-up in they cap it at 390 people. We have already sold a third of the tickets right now. We're going to do an hour. Dan's going to do 20 minutes, and we can hear everybody. It's if everybody shows up, it's a 400-person Zoom call, and people turn their volume of their microphones down a little bit, but
we turn it down to 1/5 the volume, but we can still hear the laughs.
So it's like being in a comedy club. It is the most fun thing that we have done, and we're doing it Thursday, June 4th, 7 p.m. West Coast time, 10 p.m. Eastern, and 9 Central. But we want everyone to come check it out. It is the Nowhere Comedy Club. Go to eventbrite.com and look up Night of 1,000
$10
Scars.
or $15.
It's really, for all the people out there who said, you guys never come to X. I wish you came to my city. This is your chance to see us. Dan is so funny. His new material is so good. I can't wait. So check that out and you can get those tickets and that's fun. All right, Katie. Well, first of all, I know you're working on a project that you're not allowed to talk about, which I'm so excited to talk about that you're not allowed to talk about. But it just makes me happy that you're working on something. Can I ask you, are you enjoying working on the thing that we're not allowed to talk about?
Very much so.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, then I can't wait because whatever you work on is fantastic. And
I was at SNL for 6 years, and I worked for Weekend Update, and so everything was topical, and which is lovely and wonderful. But then you get to a point where you're like, oh no, I gotta
get out of this cycle of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's a grind. But speaking of Weekend Update, that is where you dance with Dave Ross.
No, it wasn't just David Ross.
I know.
Was everybody?
Because his joy of dancing and your joy are seared into my. It was right after the Cubs won, and I watched Game 7 in New York. You were giving me tips on where to go to see the game, and so you getting to dance with them fulfilled so many other people's emotions. Do you know what I mean? You're that's my buddy.
It was. I was so sad because I couldn't be in Chicago,
Right.
And then it was the Cubs are coming to me.
Yeah.
And
who was it? It was you, Dave, and who?
Anthony Rizzo, heard of him?
Of course, was there.
Dexter Fowler, heard of him?
Nice. Yeah. Cardinal.
The only Cardinal I'll cheer for. Sorry.
Good.
It's all right. Take it.
And Bill Murray, heard of him?
A little bit.
And it was so fun because it was the team at Weekend Update. I was like, is there any way I could be one of the singers? They were like, absolutely.
Yes.
But the other singers were actual singers,
Yeah.
who are SAG and who are this is and they were like, okay, so Katie knows the song and they're trying to ask me about harmonies. And I was like, I don't fucking know.
Mouthing this. I'm just mouthing these words.
This is the most sober I've ever sung this song.
Right.
So this will be the only time that you'll ever see me singing on TV. Just this is the only time the Cubs will ever win the World Series again.
All right.
We're taking one event
That's fine. I was
What
there.
what a fun turn this took.
This really took a turn. That's amazing. It's amazing. Well, you're a great follow on the Twitters. Please tell people how they can, and all the stuff that you do, how they can follow you.
Well, it's my full name. It's Katie Mary Rich. So my name is actually Advice. That's really my actual name. I did not follow my own advice.
No.
And
Great job. Great job.
So yeah, that's
Nice.
a great place to start.
Awesome.
All right, and hopefully, when you can announce,
When you can announce, you'll
on
come
your
back.
Twitter feed, also you'll announce, and then you'll come back.
You'll
and do
come
it.
back here and we'll promote it. Okay.
Hell yeah, I'll come back.
I love
Sweet.
it. I love it.
Let's finish
so-
the story up.
Okay, the bar owner told police that Adams, because they eventually got there, tried to kiss random patrons inside the bar before she was asked to leave. Adams initially refused, believe it or not, but then wandered, which I love that word, just
whole
kind of
life
like
has been a
meandered her
wander.
way into the parking lot where she continued to refuse to leave. The cops offered to call her a cab or phone her family to pick her up, but instead she sat on the ground and stated that she would not go. So we're at like 3-year-old level of like
Tantrum.
right. I would
So
say,
the pills have kicked in.
Yes.
right, exactly. I always say too, you always get that level of drunk where you want everything to wait. Like no matter what you're trying to get your friend to do, like, wait a minute, You're like, just get in the fucking car, Kyle.
Wait a
Wait,
minute.
wait, wait.
Wait.
Right. Or we're like, dude, order.
Yeah.
Wait.
Right.
Wait.
She phoned the cops 5 times, including once after police had already responded to the bar and once while she was talking to the cops.
Who are you talking to?
That's
I'm
what they
talking to
s-
the cops.
That's what they said. They
We
asked
are the
why
cops.
she was calling 911. She said she felt the bar was not practicing social distancing or following guidelines. I mean, she would know.
And she also felt that the parking lot was spinning.
Yeah. She said,
Yeah.
And she said an African American man is threatening me.
well,
I was gonna say, no need to Google this. She's white.
Yeah,
police
exactly.
asked her again to leave, at which point she refused and stated she would, quote, sit in the parking lot all night. If I had the hours, if they didn't care about overtime and I'm that cop, I'd be like, let's see
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna
Let's
see how
long
see
you
it.
go.
How long can this
Does
drunk
this
person
then become a stakeout?
yeah, standoff at
Standoff,
least.
yeah.
Jeez.
After that is when she was arrested. She was charged with trespassing after a warning, disorderly conduct, resisting without violence, and misuse of 911. I'm going to ask you guys, they get into other things we don't care about. How old do you think Audra Adams of Melbourne, Florida, or the surrounding area is? She called the cops 5 times. She's trying to kiss people in a bar, and she wants to sit in a parking lot all night.
I have in my brain what it is. Katie, what do you think?
45.
45 years old. That is
Jay?
peak Karen.
I will tell you that right now, in my mind, she's 67 or she's 22. Like I,
And you probably can't tell by looking at
Yeah, that's right.
No.
which way.
Trying to
She looks so good
67.
because she looks so good.
So stop.
I'm gonna say
You're a
six. I'm
freak.
gonna say she's 22.
22,
Okay, I'm going to say she's 54.
54 years
Which
old.
sounds old to anyone in their 20s, but it's really not that far
Yeah,
away.
especially
Really
in
not.
Florida because you could still fight. That's
50?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're in your fighting prime.
54, but she dresses like she's 22.
Yeah, her shirt says like 1-800 you wish.
Yeah.
She shops at Forever 21.
Right, and
Yeah.
her pockets are dazzling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Audra Adams. We will get out of here on this. Is 32 years old.
Whoa,
Whoa, where would that be?
So, Jay, what'd you say,
10
I,
off.
I was 10 off. It's me.
Wow.
22.
And I went over. So you were the $1.
Thank you.
Kind of.
But
That's so
over is
good.
okay. We do
we,
close.
we go over it.
You were 13 away. I was 10 away. That's
32
close.
and didn't have the kids that weekend.
That's right. So,
She has like
No,
an,
she did.
Mom,
he's
they're,
13. He can stay by himself.
cracked a window.
they're in the car.
did.
They're in the car in the parking lot. Mom, stop.
Mom.
32 and she had the grandkids.
Stop.
Katie Rich, you are the best. I'm so
You
happy
are
we got
all
to
the
do
best. What a
Yeah.
bright spot.
What a
What a
treat.
bright spot.
I know.
Yes.
I want everyone to follow you, and I'm going to just cross fingers and hope that what you're working on gets made so that we can all enjoy all the great work that you do. More
Agreed.
of it.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll see you guys on the 4th. Well, you'll hear me.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
You're the best, kiddo.
You're the best.
And we got to go. Oh, shit. We got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, calm you down. It's Dumb People Town.
Starburns Audio.
A podcast. a podcast network.